Hey guys, so we are back doing the dry brushing portion, which is a technique I wanted to show you with acrylic paint on the piece that I had previously spray painted and gave it that primer coat. So you can pretty much pick up any kind of acrylic paint at the craft store. Just make sure it's acrylic and that it's not, an oil-based paint. This ceramic coat is nice and thick. It works really well. I get this at Michael's. Joanne Fabric also carries this, just folk art acrylic brand. I think they also carry the ceramic coat too. They're about under $1 a piece. This Craft Smart brand is Michael's brand. So any of these little acrylic paint bottles will work well. I've just placed some of my paints in this little egg carton. That's nice and handy to use. And then you will also want to have some spare newspaper for the dry brushing technique and your brushes. So your brushes need to be a stiff bristled brush. You want the bristles to be kind of fairly stiff. You don't want anything too thin. Some kind of resistance against the piece itself. So, okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick one of the colors you want to work with. And I'm going to go with this little bit of this brown here. You're going to put a tiny bit on the brush, and then you're going to use your spare newspaper to go ahead and clean off as much of that paint onto the newspaper as you can. This is why they call this dry brushing. So you don't have much loaded up on the actual tip of the brush, and then when you go ahead and flake at it, you get that resistance. And what happens is all of that first base coat that you put on, that dark rich color, stays in those nooks and crannies, and the only thing that starts popping out are whatever surface is on top here. So you can go ahead and layer in different bits. So I'll go in with some of this red, again clearing it off. Layer over any bits of color that you'd like to. Then I'm going to go back in here with my big brush. An even lighter coat of brown. You start building this really great texture that starts happening over the piece. No idea what that looks like from this side. It's very hard for me to see this position. Hopefully it looks good. That is dry brushing. You can go ahead and do that to your pieces. It's just one of the options. It's a very quick way to kind of get some depth and actually make it look like maybe you know how to paint, even if you don't. So very quick and easy skill.